This is Suzanne Wagner, and I'm doing my daily personal quote and blog for April 23rd, 2022. My quote for today: Life is a lure mixed with pleasure and pain. Life has lessons that we are intended to gain. Life is a game that has no end. Life is a journey to make all of us bend. And my blog for today: we got all the garlic in, 72 plants altogether. I am very excited as this is my first attempt with garlic. The onions are still small and not ready to come out of the greenhouse. The artichokes are ready to be planted, and the various tomatoes, peppers, and tomatillos are still waiting for the ground to be warm enough so they don't die. We weeded the upper tier of our garden. It was easy to do with having just had 10 inches of rain in the last 2 weeks. I probably need to do the lower part also, but I also just need to take a break and get away. So I am taking this weekend off. As this astrology continues to build, the stresses emotionally seem to be climbing on many levels, and it is often wise to just take a break. While there is always more things to do, there are also moments when a pause is a better option regardless of circumstances. I learned something a long time ago in my 20s. When the actions of others put one into a place of accommodation that requires too much juggling and effort, there is a moment when the effort being asked is way more than the positive attributes that this person or situation brings into the space. At that point, continuing to bend over backwards is no longer worth the effort, and if one looks at things objectively, we see and finally understand that there was, past tense, a level of attachment that now is only manifesting as more suffering. I recognize that others must walk their path. I recognize that I have walked many paths that I did not realize were pushing others either. But I did recognize that if something was truly my path, that I probably should walk it alone and not drag others along for that ride. I knew from a young age that everyone's paths are radically different and that we cannot all be on the same path. Besides, that would be terribly boring. I would rather let others go, make a choice to let go of the attachment, and intuitively know that when the time or lifetime is right, they will circle back around. And at that moment, I would love to hear the stories and the awarenesses that they gained from that journey. We can then share from a place of experiences that allowed us to gain wisdom. Life is a complicated web, and that web can ensnare and entice us into dances that are for our growth and evolution. I have had many things ensnare my energy for years and sometimes decades. But at my age, I look at things with the eyes of wisdom and from the place that less stress is the pathway forward. There's nothing left to prove at this point. Each of us will bravely face our future as it comes our way. It is our choices that determine the level of attachment and how long we are caught by certain illusions and dreams. There is a moment when we recognize that this whole reality is a dream and that all things in our mind will manifest externally for us to engage and learn from. Much lies ahead for each of us, but when we learn that making others bend over backwards for our childish illusions is inappropriate, that is when we look again to see if that choice is worth it and if in the end it will justify our faith and belief in its probably momentary potential. Thanks, everyone.